Bustle. Giving a shout out right now to SPR, Spot Alone, y'all already know what it is. Slow Select. With that Bustle, big shout out to SPR, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe, stay tuned, all that.
All that and then some to the income. Hit these YouTube streets, find a corner, and bend one as we usually do around this time. We've heard about the stories of the black home being dismantled systematically, just the deterioration of the family. We see the results. But here it is in the 70s, black wives pushing against their husbands. And I just figured it might be interesting content to take a look at, to remind ourselves basically how we got here to a large degree. Oh, my mama.
As a reporter for the Chicago Daily Defender, and as a black woman married to a black man, I've become deeply aware of the effects of this new black revolution on the relationship between black man and black woman. I see it among my own friends, and I also see it in my home. But the most revealing and the most vocal statements about what the new black man expects from the new black woman came when I met with a group of young unmarried friends one Saturday afternoon.
I think that what's happening in America as far as black men, black women is concerned is that there's a revolution within a revolution. We are fighting our own woman. Our woman will not allow us to emerge as black men. No. But our black women, who has been put in this role of aiding white America, white structure, and castrating the black male, has continued doing this. She cannot live with us. It's not that we can't live with her.
Are you blaming us? Are you saying that it's our fault that this happened?
No, I'm not blaming black America women. I just said that I'm blaming the system. They are victims of the system like the black male.
Well, why do you say that we are castrating you? You say that you want to be the leaders. Okay, well, what about the black professional woman? Are you saying that there should be no black professional woman? Are you trying to deny black women the right to be creative, the right to function?
We're not asking for you to take a back seat. We're saying that you have got to be astute enough and can view the situation well enough where you just automatically know what your role is and step back. And whenever you want to have that aggressive thing, this is the thing that the young black man today is not going to tolerate. My old man tolerated it because his old man tolerated it. It came up for years and years and years. But today, the young black man is not going to take it. He's going to be out there as the leader.
White America has used black women to keep the black male in his place. And you're still aiding him by saying, well, we are qualified, we want to work, we can help.
Okay, how are you going to reprogram men so that they don't let us take over what's supposed to be their responsibility? And men that I have had dealings with, they are perfectly willing to sit back and let us do anything we want to.
I don't think that you have to reprogram men. I think you have to reprogram women.
No, you have to reprogram the man so that he will forcefully take what...
There's a whole population of men who don't mind sitting back and allowing the woman to do all the things that need to be done to provide for the family, especially if she's willing. Yeah, I know, for especially just think of the pimp culture and then not actually pimping and hoeing, but in our community, there's a whole spirit of, I grew up under a keep your hand out, don't turn down nothing but your collar. You know what I'm saying? Break bread. Even when I had it, I needed it. That's just the way I was raised and the way I did for quite a long time. It's, look around. It's more so than her staying with him. It's him staying with her, him getting put out.
Belongs to him because women, as long as we can get, we're gonna get, and it's part of our being. We're going to do anything to you that you let us, whether we want to or not.
You don't want to live on the level of income that I can afford you and love me on the basis of that. You want to always be aspiring to have all those things that's a part of the great middle class white American society, and because I can't deliver these things to you, you say that you are not a man.
I don't measure a man by how much money he can bring home. I measure...
Well, how have times changed? Because if you listen to the Kevin Samuels content, even the Kendra G, what a man got is the first thing that they want to get understood off top before they place you in a category or a status. Yeah, times have changed.
A man by how he treats me. Whether when I'm tired and I'm sick and I'm scared, he's there.
For these women, the men are there. But with the feeling of racial pride has come new conflicts and new problems. Across America, they meet to discuss what Black awareness means to their families and to them as Black women of today.
You know, there have been a lot of myths created about the Black family. We all recognize that. And one of the most pernicious myths is the myth of the Black matriarch.
It was not like
the Black woman has not been a matriarch in the sense that it has been defined thus far. And thank God research, and I hope Black research is being done now to reverse that kind of thing. In fact, the Black woman has been a woman at the head of a household, not by choice, but by necessity. And more often, that's right, and more often than not, she is not a strong, matriarchal, aggressive, domineering figure. She is a woman in search of a man. But this story has not been told.
The prejudiced society created what we have now. So that's what we were. Okay, we have a revolution going on. We're part of the revolution.
We're in an evolution. I think the revolution is yet to come.
Yeah, it's the well, this thing
we keep tossing the word revolution around lightly.
It's extremely important for Black history and culture to be transmitted from generation to generation. And the best way, the most effective way that this has always been done is through the family, acting as the primary unit of social organization.
Notice those on a national forefront platform, unlike Umar, are not throwing around the N-word. They're not throwing around derogatory terms toward Black women and entertaining all type of buffoonery. When it's time to discuss issues of pertinence of our people, you got to eliminate all the foolishness if you want to classify yourself amongst the leaders. I mean, it's a prime example right here. This is how you discuss issues that are relative to your people, that are important when you are demanding respect for your message.
And I think one reason why it has not been done with Black people is because of the destruction done to our family life. So this certainly has to be one function of the Black marriage, to begin to reemphasize and to pick up the thread of Afro-American history and culture that has been left off generations ago when Africans were sold into slavery, when the family unit was purposely destroyed.
Most middle-class homes, quote middle-class homes, like I don't even get caught up in that bag, you go into will have some copy of anybody, any white artist, I don't even have to name anybody, instead of the works of Black artists. I think it starts, especially that identity part, the books, the kinds of books. All of these things start in the home.
She looked like she could have been Gary Coleman mama.
Rather than complaining about them being in the schools at this point.
Unless we're absolutely certain of how that teacher is handling them, then we may have to assume that whole responsibility. We may have to pull them out of school ourselves, and do all the educating ourselves.
Say, for instance, when they say to my child to draw, last year Rhonda painted Abraham Lincoln brown and she was put in the corner, We had to go up to the school and deal with that. They must be respectable to their peers in school. And what we do, we handle that. We don't say, you jump up, you curse that teacher out, or you say it doesn't exist. But they see us at that school knocking on the door. You have to be in there. Either we're going to control, their minds here, or at least give them the choice.
A lot of this is new to us, and a lot of these things we're grappling with, and we don't want to give anybody the impression that we have the answer to everything.
Not only that, though, let me cut you off again. People go around talking about hate. We really don't have time to hate because, it goose up the bag. We're loving ourselves. Mm-hmm. This might bring around a lot of other different.
For the sake of the subject of this conversation, a lot of people would say she out of pocket for cutting him off when it's time to talk like this. Is this a decent dynamic, or should she be more subservient? Like she cut him off multiple times, acknowledging it. Is she being emasculated? A lot of people would say so.
Things.
To be Black means to love. It's got nothing to do with having to hate anybody.
It does determine, though, Francis, and has nothing to do with hate. Again, it's love. that we might have to do certain things to protect that love.
It may bring us into conflict with somebody.
Yeah. Necessary to protect that love.
Finally, I asked Francis about the standards of today's black man as compared with those of 20 years ago.
Standards which white society had projected. I think these standards were that he had to become successful according to the white mode. He had to get a good job, he had to buy a good car, he had to move to the suburbs, he had to rear a good family that went to church every Sunday, that did everything that the typical good American family was supposed to do. And I don't think the black man necessarily is addicted to that notion. I think he sees the falsity of it. I think he sees the total hypocrisy of it. I think he wants to rear a tightly knit family, but not for the purposes that white society says. He doesn't want to rear a family for any sham purposes, just to fulfill some false ethic. But he wants to rear a good family in order to have his children strong, reared in his own image perhaps, and to transmit, most importantly, to transmit the values which he is learning to his children, and to try to ensure as best he can that his children will transmit those same values to their children, and have the same transmission repeated from generation to generation.
It wasn't quite what I expected. That was a lot more positive than I expected, but it is showing how in a society when things become more accessible to an oppressed people, the natural order of dependency starts to break down, because when things were harder and you needed a more firmer, coarse exterior to get out in the world and be protective of all your interests, including your female and your children, and that would be the man, then the woman naturally, to a large degree, would stay behind that shield and that protection. As things became more sophisticated and there were less harms, and things that we needed for families were easierly acceptable, largely due to sacrifices made by men, now a woman is less inclined to be in a position where she needs to be behind, protected, or subjected to any type of hierarchy in a relationship, because there's not many natural elements that cause it to be as such. And from a people who have been also attacked and broken down from a family structure standpoint, it just has developed into a very, very difficult dynamic to even understand, let alone, combat.
I worked hard. I get up at 4 o'clock and get my breakfast done. Just at dawn of day, I go to the field and we pick cotton. My boss man came along. He says, Ray Jane? I said, sir. Says, I say, when you wash? I said, I washed last night. He said, I don't want you to do that no more. That's my agent, He says, every Friday morning or Friday evening, you wash. And let all the children stay there with you until you get through. When you get through, then y'all can go back to the field and wait. Now, the agents was mean, some of them. Some of them was mean. They wanted to hook the colored people. And that time the white man come along. He says, hey, but you ain't in the field yet? He just had started plowing. He said, yes, I've just not had to eat my dinner. God damn it, you ain't doing a goddamn thing. He says, God damn it, I ought to take this damn stick and frail the hell out you. He said, no, he said, if you frail the hell out of me, goddamn, I frail the hell out of you.
Snakewood and that hustle. Big shout out to SPR, Spotter Low. I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.